Welcome to the Hansi Flick Tactics Volume 2. This video is a continuation of Volume 1 and will work best if you already have set up Volume 1. So make sure you do that first. You can find Volume 1 linked at the end of this video or in the video description now. Or you can use the tag above. In this tutorial, we'll be optimizing the hiring of the coaching staff by using the ideal combination of standard, wing play, Tiki Taka, Gegenpressing, park the bus, counterattack, kick and rush strategies for each department, which are the attack, midfield, defense, and goalkeeping. So we're going to cover every department. Here you can see an example of one of the formulas, this one for attack. This shows the perfect combination and coaching styles for attack, which is 48% Gegenpressing coaches, 28% wing play coaches, and 24% Tiki Taka coaches. And I stress, do not get worried. This is just a nerdy formula. I'm going to be giving you guys a cheat sheet, so at no point are you ever going to need to solve for X or figure out percentages. I've made a cheat sheet for every department, and it does all the math for you. I'll also provide the recommended Hansi Flick enhancer coaching style for each head coach per department. The goal of this approach is to train players to embrace Hansi Flick's high-intensity, possession-based style at Barcelona, emphasizing pressing, quick transitions, and fluid play with short passes and wide attacks, while also developing the entire team, including La Masia, to enhance their personal growth within this system. Now, before we start crafting the ultimate Barca experience, in our previous tactic videos, we pulled over 28,000 views with 645 likes, which is amazing considering it was a year ago with a smaller audience. So here's the deal. If we hit 50 likes on this video, I'll drop Volume 3 right away, even if it happens today. So let's get the momentum going with 50 likes. Make sure you subscribe, turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on Volume 3 and 4 that are already done. It's up to you when they come out. All right, step number 1. The first thing you want to do under squad, make sure you set the tactical preset to the Hansi Flick team sheet created in Volume 1. Make sure under team sheets, the Hansi Flick custom tactics are set as default. You'll know you did this correctly because in your current tactical preset, it will display custom. The reason for doing this is that everything we cover in this video is designed to help players evolve and develop their gameplay, ultimately fine-tuning Hansi Flick's custom tactics from Volume 1 to unlock its full potential. So if you have the wrong team sheet selected, you're basically just wasting your time. All right, for the first goal, what you want to do is hire a 5-star expert level coach as head coach per department. What is the perfect combination when it comes to the head coaches? This is what it would look like. For attack, what you want is a Gegenpressing expert. For the midfield, you want a Tiki Taka expert. For the defense, you want another Gegenpressing expert in charge. And for goalkeeping, you just want a standard expert as the head coach. You might want to take a screenshot of that or write it down because you will need to use this as a cheat sheet as we look through the coaching markets for the best available in the market. So the end game here is to have a 5-star coach leading each department. But I'm going to tell you right off the bat, we'll take a look at the market in a second, but those coaches will not all be available at the beginning of the season. But the worst thing you could do is leave these blank because that would stagnate player and youth development. You don't want to do that. Take a look at the current boosters. Rafinha has a +2, Olmo has a +1, Lamine Yamal +1, Kubarsia +1, and Koundé +1, and Inigo +1. We got these boosters just because of the way we correctly set up some players in Volume 1. Now in Volume 3, we'll focus on the individual development, which is going to actually give you an extra boost for the players that don't currently have a boost without any coaches. Now let's go take a look at the market. Let's see what's available and let's see if we can find any of the 5 stars. So right off the bat right here, Sebastian Montero, he is a 5-star standard and we know we need a 5-star standard goalkeeper as the head coach. So this one we can hire right away because we also know there is no other department that needs a standard 5-star as the head coach. Here's an expert in Gegenpressing. So this guy has a 2-star on attack, but he has a 4-star for defense. So I'm going to keep checking the list. Unless I find a 5-star defensive Gegenpress, this will be the guy we hire for the defensive head coach. Like I said, you get the best that's available. You don't have to get the 5-star off the bat. We're going to hire and fire our way to our goals. That's why you should always keep your cheat sheet handy as you scroll through the market. And that's all that's available. So the first 2 hirings that I would do is I would get this one to be the head coach for the goalkeeping department since it's standard, And I would hire this expert as the defensive coach because it's Gegenpressing at 4 stars. So we're going to hire this one for the defense. We're going to allocate him right here. Yes. Then we're going to go back to the market and we're going to hire this expert level standard to be the head coach for the goalkeeping. Now, if we switch over to tactical preset, notice for defense, that's set up correctly. But for the goalkeeping, it's set up as Gegen, but what we need is that to be set up as standard. So we're going to go to manage and we're going to switch this guy to standard. And we're going to select this coach. And now you can see one is standard, one is Gegenpress. So now let's see what's the next best thing available when it comes to midfield and attack when we look at the market. So because we hired 2 coaches, there might be 2 new coaches. So we want to double check the entire list. So remember, we're looking for another Gegenpress expert for attack and a Tiki Taka expert for the midfield. Now, right here, we have a Tiki Taka Accomplish, which might be the next best thing for the midfield. This one here is only a 2-star, not good enough. Here we go. Found it. A 5-star Tiki Taka coach, and we're going to hire this one right off the riff. But before we do that, now we know we need a Gegen expert, the only thing that's missing for attack. So is there a Gegen expert or on attack? Here's a 3-star. Okay, there's a 3-star. So that would be the next second best thing. Can we find a 5-star? No. But what we're going to do, since I already know I'm going to get the midfielder that I need, I'm going to go to edit wish list. And since there's only a 3-star level expert for Gegenpressing on attack, and we want a 5-1, is I'm going to go to edit wish list. I'm going to look for a Gegenpress knowledge level expert on attack. Look for a 5-star. Everything else I'm going to leave as is. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that. Now I'm going to hire the 5-star midfielder that we saw. This one right here, Tiki Taka. So we're going to hire him right here for the midfield. And that's perfect. But also notice, he's set by default as Gegenpress. So we got to go to tactical preset. We go to manage. We select the midfielder. And we're going to change this to Tiki Taka. That's what we want. So the only thing that we're missing is a 5-star attack Gegenpress. Now, since I did the wish list, let's see if the list has refreshed itself. Here's a 2-star on attack. Here's a 1-star expert. So far, I would still take the 1-star over the 2-star because this is just a novice. But we still have this guy here who is a Gegen expert level 3. This is probably the best. Let's see if there's anything better than this. If not, we'll make this the temporary head coach. So yeah, the best we have is this one right here. So we're going to go ahead and hire this guy temporarily as the head coach. He's the next best thing. So we're going to go ahead and allocate that right here. You can see it right there. Now we have the correct coaches for each department head. We do know that in the future, we're going to have to replace this guy for a 5-star and this guy for a 5-star, but that's something we're going to work out throughout the season. So let's take a look at what kind of impact this has had on our team. As you can tell, just hiring one head coach for each department, now every single player has a boost. And if you take a look, we go to office, I have not even started the season, and that's why it's so important you do this first before moving forward in time. Players, they gain experience based on the allocations that we just created. So I would not move forward in time. Instead, what I would now focus on is getting close to the ideal number. For attack, I've only achieved level 3 of 17. Here, 5 of 27, 4 of 24, and 5 of 12. So before I even move to the second day of the season, I'm going to check the entire market. I'm going to find the best coaches available. As you can see there, we still have 9 of 13 spots available. I would actually use the entire 9 open positions before you even get started so you can maximize growth. But I wouldn't do it randomly, and that's where we get into this next part. Okay, for the following part, this is just a formula. You're not going to have to do the math. Later, I'll give you a cheat sheet so you can translate this formula to the level star quality coaches you're going to need to hire. So let me just explain myself, then I'll give you all the answers. So for attack, we're going to allocate 48% to Gegenpressing, 28% into wing play, and 24% into Tiki Taka. As you can see in Gegenpressing, we allocate nearly half of the attack training into this is due to the aggressive pressing Hansi Flick does in real life. This is going to help the forward line regain possession quickly, pressuring the opposition opposition immediately after losing the ball. Now, we have 28% into wing play. The reason we do this is because we want to invest into wide positioning with the occasional diagonal runs to enhance the goal scoring opportunities from the wings. Lastly, for Tiki Taka, we put 24% there because we want to allocate a quarter to quick, short passes to maintain possession and setting up scoring opportunities. Now, for the midfields, the way we want to train them and develop them is for them to be very versatile for high pressing, ball control, and quick link-ups. So we're going to focus on Gegenpressing, Tiki Taka, counterattack for this balance. So we put 43% into Gegenpressing. This keeps midfielders pressing high and recovering possession quickly, crucial for the Hansi Flick style. We put 35% into Tiki Taka. This allows midfielders to execute quick control passes with an emphasis on finding attackers in space. Now, the 22% that we're going to put into counterattack for the midfield, this encourages quick transitions after regaining possession with the focus on exploiting spaces left by the opposition. Defense. So here we're going to maintain on keeping a high line by combining the Gegenpressing, the standard, and the park the bus for balance. For Gegenpressing, we will put 45% there to keep defenders proactive, aligned with the high line press, and focusing on winning the ball early. Now we're going to put 30% of the allocations into standard. This is to create balance to help defenders adjust to different game phases. Now we are going to put 25% into park the bus. It doesn't mean we're going to be parking the bus, but we don't want to stagnate some of the more defensive traits that you still need to develop from your defenders when you're playing against strong opponents. Finally, for goalkeeper, in Hansi Flick style, the goalkeepers play a more proactive role. So since Barcelona plays such a high line, you will often see the current Iñaki Peña, who's been the starter. He always comes out as a sweeper keeper. That's why we set him up like that in Volume 1. So the reason we're putting 60% into Gegenpressing is because this is going to help him with that ability to come out as a sweeper keeper to cover when our high defensive line is unable to cover for us. Now, the 40% we put into standard, this is just to balance out all the other traits when developing young goalkeepers. You even want to allocate to the distribution abilities of passing to balance out the goalkeepers in all aspects. So how do we apply the formula to each department? First, you take the overall ideal quality number from each department. Let's start with attack. In this case, the ideal quality number is 17. This number will be different for everyone depending on what roster updated version you're using or how many La Masia players you have created. For example, if you go in here in attack, you will see that I have Tony Fernandes. You can find the complete list of my created La Masia players and the correct updated stats for all the Barca players in the video description below. So if you did not create Tony Fernandes, your ideal star quality might not be 17. Because of this discrepancy, I made a cheat sheet for each department. Now, you might want to screenshot each one of these because you're going to need it all season long. You know, screenshot it on your computer or use your cell phone, whatever. As you can see, I made the numbers from 10 to 40. So no matter how small or large your squad is, you should be covered. But for the purpose of this tutorial, let's use the numbers you see here on my screen. So for this example, let's use the number 17 because on attack, the ideal number is 17. And also, just in case you're wondering, so why is there a number 3 achieved, number 5 achieved, number 4 achieved, and number 5 achieved? Those are the original head coach stars that we already hired earlier in the video. So focusing on attack, we know the ideal quality is number 17. So I go to my cheat sheet, make sure it's the attacking one. Every department is different. And I look at the left column labeled total stars. I find the number 17. Now I know I need 8 total stars for Gegenpressing that represents 48%, the number we saw in my formula. We need 5 total stars for wing play that represents 28% that we saw in my formula. And finally, we need 4 stars total for Tiki Taka. Please note that the amount of stars are not the amount of coaches you need, but always minimize the amount of coaches you hire. For example, on attack, now that we know we need 8 total quality stars for Gegenpressing, what I mean by minimizing the amount of coaches you hire, don't hire 4 2-star coaches to get 8 total quality. And you only get 13 total at the beginning of the season. This number will increase if you do good throughout the season, but it's going to take a while. So you want to minimize the amount of coaches that you use up. So the best combination to get that 8 total quality Gegenpressing is just hiring 2 coaches. It could be 2 expert level 4-star Gegenpressing, that equals 8. Or you can hire 1 5-star Gegenpressing coach, and the second one can be a 3-star expert Gegenpressing coach. That also equals 8. The most important thing here is to use the least amount of coaches. coaches to hit that number 8. And yes, I use the term expert because that is what our end game strategy should be. But as we already saw in the market, you're not going to get all the coaches that you want at the beginning of the season. So if there's no expert level coach, go for accomplished. If there's no accomplished, then get a novice. If there's no 5-star, get a 4-star. If there's no 4-star, get a 3-star. If there's no 3-star, get a 2-star. Even a 1-star is good. You just don't want to leave these allocations on blank. And even if you hire a 1-star novice coach, you can always fire him at any moment of the season when a better coach appears in the market. So still focusing here on attack, okay? We're only focusing on attack. We just talked about the Gegenpress allocations, but if we look at our cheat sheet, remember the number was 17. Yeah, we needed the 8 Gegen stars, but we also need a 5 total expert quality stars for wing play. And we do the same thing. We try and find a 5-star quality wing play, preferably an expert. If it's not available, go for whatever's the best available, whether it's star-wise and knowledge-wise. Now for Tiki Taka, we know we need 4 total quality expert stars. So best case scenario, that would be that you get 1 4-star expert level Tiki Taka coach. Now let's say there's not a 4-star expert Tiki Taka coach available, but there's a 3-star and there's a 5-star. Always go with the greater number, in this case 5, because your team is going to eventually grow. And the more 1 5-star coaches you get, the more you are optimizing the staff capacity. So really quick, let's go through the other departments. The ideal for the midfield is number 27. Make sure you use the correct cheat sheet. Don't use attack, defense, or goalkeeping because every department has different allocations. We're going to use the cheat sheet for midfield. We're going to look for the number 27. So we need 12 total expert Gegenpressing star ideal quality. We need 9 expert Tiki Taka ideal quality stars. And we need a total of 6-star for counterattack. Now for the defense, the ideal quality is number 24. That's 11 total expert Gegenpressing star quality. That's 7 total stars for standard and 6 total stars for park the bus. And remember, ideally try to get an expert. Now for goalkeeping, the number is 12. If you take a look at the cheat sheet, it says that for number 12, that's 7 total expert Gegenpress stars and 5 total expert standard stars for goalkeeping. Now, in case you guys have not noticed, with only 13 staff capacity at the beginning of a career mode, remember this number will increase if you do good, it is mathematically impossible to fulfill the ideal quality for all departments, even if every coach you hired was a 5-star and you optimize everything to the max. The cheat sheets that I have provided are your end game. It's something you're going to accomplish throughout multiple seasons when you unlock more staff capacity. So now let me give you my recommendations for season 1. This here is the cheat sheet for season 1. So we're going to divide those 13 open positions. We're going to put 3 coaches on attack, 4 in the midfield, 4 on the defense, and 2 in goalkeeping. This setup maximizes your 13 coach setup over time. As you gain additional slots, if you do good, through team performance, you can use your cheat sheet to get the 17, 27, 24, and 12 formulas used to the max. So just to recap, here's some tips I have for you guys. Aim to fill all 13 coaching slots on day 1. Even if you have to use novices or 1-star level coaches, because leaving this unfilled will slow player growth and you want to hit the ground running from day 1. Number 2, regularly check the coaching market and use the wish list feature to keep upgrading. You're going to hire, fire. Got to get rid of that 1-star, get the 5-star. Tip number 3, as you're hiring new head coaches per department, make sure you always have the right head coach for the department, as you saw in the earlier cheat sheet. Here, let me give you an example when it's done wrong. I have purposely sabotaged my team where the wrong coach is the head coach. Bryce Casas, he's a Gegenpress accomplished coach. Not only is he the wrong coach style to be in charge, if you see the icon, it's set to standard and it's supposed to be Tiki Taka. So how do you fix this? Because remember, we want Aguao, who is the Tiki Taka level expert, Tito Aguao, to be the head coach. So to make Aguao the head coach, you go back, you go to tactical preset, you hit manage, you go to the midfield, and you're going to select Tiki Taka. Once you select Tiki Taka, you're going to look for, remember, Tito Aguao, because he's the expert in Tiki Taka. You're going to select him, and there you go. We can even double check this. Go in here, and you could see it right there. Now, Tito Aguao is actually the head coach, and the symbol is correct. That is the Tiki Taka symbol. So just so you guys can see, if we go to office and we go to calendar, I am still on day 1. I have not even moved to day 2. But I've already hired the entire 13 members of my staff based on what was best available in the market. Trying to hit my season 1 recommended threshold, you can see it right there. We'll take a look at the details in a second, but look how it has impacted every single player. It's only day 1. Even my substitutes, they got +2s, 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 +1s. Even my reserves have players getting a +2. And I haven't even moved on to day 2. So we haven't even trained a single day, and we're already getting just free boosters just for not leaving it blank. Now, trying to use the recommended threshold for season 1, this is the best I got. I have a 3-star Gegenpress, couldn't get the 5. I have a 4-star wing play, couldn't get the 5. And I have a 3-star Tiki Taka, I couldn't get the 5, but it doesn't matter. I got the rest of the season to try and find the 5 stars. Same thing for the midfield. I got the head coach 5-star Tiki Taka, that we did get. We have a 2-star Gegenpress. We have a 4-star expert lever counterattack, so it didn't matter that I didn't get 5. If you see the midfield recommendations for season 1, it was recommended I get 2 5-star Gegenpress. So this guy was supposed to be a Gegenpress, but there was no more available on day 1 in the market. So this is probably the first guy I'm going to replace as soon as there's new coaches available in the market. They might even show up on day 2. Now for defense, here we got a 4-star Gegenpress. One day we'll upgrade to 5. Here we got a 2-star expert on standard. We'll try and get a 5 in the future. We did get a 1-star Park the Bus accomplish. We will shoot for expert and level 5 during the season. And for the last one, remember, it was recommended I use 2 Gegen coaches. So this one, I got a 3-star Gegenpress expert. You know, throughout the season, we'll try to get a 5-star expert. Remember, we're still on day 1. Now for the goalkeeping, we do have the standard expert level. So that one is 100% completed, is what we needed for season 1. And we have a 2-star Gegenpress accomplished. That's somebody we're going to look to fire and hire a 5-star expert Gegenpress in the future. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. While you're there, please leave a nice little comment for me. Special thanks to all the staff, all the members. If you want to become a member, that's available in the video description. A lot of effort went into these videos. Please help me the best way you can. Don't forget 50 likes and 15 comments, and I will drop volume 3 immediately. So volume 1, you can find that on the lower left. Volume 2, you just watched. So volume 3 is on the lower right. And on the upper right, it's going to be volume 4. And you might just get a volume 5 on the upper left for advanced settings. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.